Ladies and gentlemen, let me break something down to you today, and I want y'all to lean in on this one, because what I'm about to say might not be easy to hear, but trust me, it's real. When a man is hiding another woman, you don't always catch him red-handed. It ain't always lipstick on the collar or strange perfume in the car. No, it's way more subtle than that. But it's always in the behavior. Let me tell you something that's as real as it gets. A man's phone will tell you everything you need to know, if not by what's on it, then by how he treats it. See, when a man ain't got nothing to hide, he don't care where his phone is. It could be in the kitchen, on the nightstand, on the sofa arm. He ain't worried about it because he ain't worried about you picking it up. But the moment he starts hiding another woman, that phone becomes his best friend, his diary, his safe. He starts guarding that thing like it holds state secrets. Suddenly it's always in his pocket. You ain't never seen it face up anymore, and God forbid it lights up while you nearby. He diving for it like it's about to explode. Now here's where it gets real shady. You remember when y'all first got together, how he used to laugh at your messages out loud, show you funny memes, let you grab his phone when he was driving? Man, those days are long gone. Now he can't even go to the bathroom without taking the phone with him. Like, really? You taking your phone to brush your teeth? Come on now. That ain't about hygiene. That's about secrets. You see, when a man is communicating with someone he ain't supposed to be communicating with, his whole body language changes around that phone. It ain't just about locking it. Nah, that's too obvious. He gets slick with it. He sets it on Do Not Disturb when he's around you. Disables previews on the lock screen. Maybe even uses apps that let him hide messages under some calculator-looking icon. And if he's real slick, he might even create a second number, one of those burner apps, thinking he's 2 steps ahead. But he's only running from the truth, and truth got long legs. It always catches up. What really hurts is when you start to feel like you're trespassing in your own relationship. You ask to see his phone and he look at you like you just insulted his mama. Why you want to see my phone? Don't you trust me? See that right there? That's manipulation. A man who's loyal ain't afraid of your curiosity. He knows what's in that phone aligns with what he tells you to your face. But the man who flinches, who stutters, who tries to flip the script on you, that man's protecting something. It ain't always about finding proof, it's about noticing patterns. When he excuses himself every time a certain contact calls, when he starts texting with his body turned away from you, when he waits till you're in the shower or asleep to reply to someone, that's not love, baby, that's strategy. That's a man playing a role, living 2 lives and hoping you don't notice the slip in his performance. But you do, you feel the shift in your spirit. You start to question things you never questioned before, and that's the saddest part. Because trust, once broken, don't snap back like a rubber band. It leaves a dent. Let's talk about the lies. Small ones at first. Oh, that was just a coworker. That's just a group chat. But when you press a little harder, the stories don't line up. The names change. The tone gets sharper. And suddenly you the villain for even asking. See, a guilty man always tries to make you feel crazy for being smart. But don't doubt your instincts, Queen. When a man suddenly starts acting like his phone is his most private possession, That's not about personal space. That's about protecting what he doesn't want you to see. And here's the part most people overlook: energy. The energy he puts into keeping that phone close, into watching your eyes every time it buzzes, into making sure it's never unattended. That's not love, that's fear. Fear of being found out. Fear of consequences. And that fear grows, y'all. It grows until he can't even relax in his own house, until the weight of deception starts cracking through the cracks in his cool. Because the truth is, when a man's phone becomes more important than your peace of mind, the relationship's already in trouble. When silence becomes louder than conversation, when secrecy becomes routine, then baby, what y'all had ain't what it used to be. When a man is emotionally connected and fully invested in you, it shows in everything he does, from the way he talks to you, to the way he touches your hand, to the way he listens when you speak. There's a warmth, a tenderness, an energy that says, I'm here with you. I see you. I hear you. But when another woman enters the picture, even if he hasn't said it out loud, you will feel the shift. It doesn't always start with arguments or obvious disrespect. Sometimes it starts in the silence, in the absence of affection, in the way he stops being present, even when he's in the same room with you. You might notice he doesn't touch you like he used to. He doesn't lean in during conversations. He's distracted. You telling him about your day, about your plans, about something that hurt you, and he's looking at his phone, nodding absent-mindedly, barely responding. The emotional glue that used to hold you two together, it starts to feel like it's drying up. You used to laugh together. Now he barely cracks a smile. He used to ask about your dreams, your goals, your fears. Now it's just short replies and excuses to get off the phone or walk out the room. It's like you're reaching out in the dark, hoping to find a man who used to hold your heart. But all you touch is distance. And that distance is loud. You start to feel lonely, even when you're lying right beside him. He might still say, I love you, but the words feel empty, like a routine, not a truth. Because love without action, love without presence, love without connection, it's not love at all. It's a cover, a way to keep the peace while he lives a double life. A man who is emotionally checked out has already started checking in somewhere else, and deep down, you know it. Then comes the anger, the defensiveness, the attitude shift that doesn't even make sense. You ask a simple question, where were you? And he acts like you just accused him of a crime. You ask, why didn't you text me back? And suddenly, it's why are you always on my back? See, when a man is doing right, he's calm, he's open, he has nothing to hide, so your questions don't scare him. But when he's slipping, when he knows he's lying, he reacts like a man under pressure. Every question becomes a threat, every concern becomes an argument, and every moment you try to talk turns into him trying to shut you down. You start to feel like you're walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. You start second guessing yourself, wondering if you're being too sensitive, too suspicious, too needy. But here's the truth. A woman's intuition is powerful. You're not imagining it. You're not overthinking it. You're sensing the disconnect, and your spirit is trying to protect you. A man who loves you should make you feel safe, not silent. He should answer your questions with patience, not aggression. And if he gets angry every time you bring up how you feel, that's not your fault. That's his guilt showing. The worst part is how he flips it. Suddenly everything becomes your fault. You're too emotional. You're always starting drama. He acts like you're the one ruining things when all you're doing is trying to hold on to what's left. But a man who's loyal will reassure you, not reject you. He'll pull you closer when you feel insecure, not push you away. He won't make you feel like a burden for caring too much. The moment he starts making you feel crazy for asking what you have every right to ask, you need to understand, he's not protecting the relationship anymore. He's protecting the lie. When a man goes cold emotionally and starts lashing out defensively, it's not just stress and it's not just mood swings. It's a sign that he's hiding something or someone. You deserve more than confusion. You deserve more than emotional leftovers. You deserve truth, love, and peace that doesn't make you question your own worth. When a man starts hiding another woman, his schedule becomes one of the loudest red flags, even when his mouth is silent. Things that used to be consistent suddenly turn into confusion. You used to know his routine, when he leaves, when he comes back, how long his meetings run, who his closest friends are. But now everything has changed. He starts coming home later than usual, and when you ask him why, the answers are vague. Just has some stuff to do. Work ran late. I had to meet up with a friend. But you notice he never gives you a name, never gives you details, and there's always a pause before he answers. That pause, that hesitation, that's where the truth hides. It's in the gap between the question and the response where the lie gets built. There's a rhythm to life when you're in a committed relationship, and when that rhythm is thrown off without a clear reason, you feel it. He starts taking mysterious phone calls in the other room, stepping outside when the phone rings, or walking away from you mid-conversation to handle something real quick. He used to let you ride with him on errands. Now he suddenly insists on going alone. He leaves the house dressed nice for casual outings, and he's putting on cologne just to go to the store. And every time you question these little changes, you're met with irritation or avoidance. He wants you to stop asking questions, to stop noticing, because the more you dig, the closer you get to the truth. Then there's the increase in time gaps. The hours he can't explain. He might tell you he left work at 6, but you didn't hear from him until 9. And when you ask where he was, you get answers like, I was just driving around, or I needed some air. But that don't make sense. You don't just drive around for 3 hours in silence. Not when you got a partner at home who's waiting on you. That's not cooling off. That's covering tracks. That's time spent where he knows he shouldn't be, doing what he knows he shouldn't do. Sometimes it's the canceling of plans. You had dinner scheduled, a movie night, maybe even a weekend getaway, but all of a sudden something comes up. He's busy. He forgot. Something changed at work. But these cancellations start becoming a pattern. It's not once or twice, it's often. And the sad part is, the things he used to look forward to with you now feel like chores to him. That's because his energy is being spent somewhere else. Another woman is now getting the time, the excitement, the effort that used to belong to you. Even his friends start acting different. Maybe the ones you used to talk to regularly now avoid you. Maybe he starts hanging out with people you've never met or heard of before. Or worse, he uses the names of friends you do know as an excuse, but something in your gut tells you he wasn't with them. When a man is being deceitful, he'll drag his surroundings into his story just to make it believable. But the more lies he tells, the harder it becomes to keep the story straight. Eventually, the cracks begin to show. And then you notice the silences need to be alone more often. He needs time to think, to figure things out, but he's not actually using that time to talk to you or work through your issues. He's just away, somewhere else, emotionally and physically. And it becomes clear he's rearranging his schedule not to make space for you, but to make space for someone else. He's planning things you're not invited to. He's making time you don't even know about. And every time you get close to uncovering it, he shuts down or explodes, hoping his reaction will make you back off. A man's schedule doesn't lie, it exposes his priorities. When you're no longer part of his time, when your days feel like guesswork, when you feel more like an option than a partner, that's not a relationship anymore. That's a performance. And deep down, you already know you're no longer the only one in the picture. The question isn't whether his schedule changed. The question is, why? There's something that happens when a man starts hiding another woman. He begins putting more effort into how he looks, but not for you. It's in the way he suddenly becomes self-conscious about things he never used to care about. One day he's dressing normal, and the next he's ironing his shirts, matching his outfits, getting fresh haircuts more often than usual. He's trimming his beard just right, wearing cologne every time he steps out. Even if he's supposedly just running errands, he starts hitting the gym, watching what he eats, maybe even buying new clothes. But you notice something strange. He's not doing it around you. He doesn't ask your opinion. He doesn't say, "How do I look?" like he used to. That's because his motivation for impressing someone is no longer coming from the person he's committed to. You begin to wonder, why now? Why is he all of a sudden so concerned about how he looks when he didn't care last month, last year, or even last week? When a man is in a stable relationship, there's a certain comfort that comes with being loved and accepted as he is, but when his attention shifts elsewhere, when another woman is in the picture, he starts trying to become the best version of himself again, but not for growth and not for you. It's because he's trying to impress someone new. He wants to seem attractive, desirable, put together. And that change in motivation shows up in the little things. You notice him standing longer in front of the mirror, fixing his hair more often, checking his reflection in car windows. This isn't just about self-care. This is about performance. He may say it's just for himself, that he wants to feel better, look better, step it up, and maybe that's partly true. But if he's stepping it up everywhere else except in your relationship, that says something. If he's putting energy into his physical appearance but ignoring emotional conversations, avoiding quality time with you and brushing off your concerns, then it's not about becoming a better man. It's about becoming a more appealing man to someone who's not you. You can feel it in your gut. The timing doesn't sit right. The attention to detail, the sudden interest in looking sharp. It's coming from a new audience. And the sad part is, he might not even realize how obvious it is, but you see it. You see it when he used to throw on anything to step outside, but now he's coordinating colors, wearing accessories, choosing shoes like he's going to a photo shoot. You see it when he used to laugh at the idea of skincare, but now has a whole routine he's trying to impress somebody. And when you try to compliment him, when you try to ask where all this effort came from, his reaction is off. He brushes it off or avoids the question. Because if he admits the real reason, it'll confirm what you already know deep down. And it's not just about how he looks, it's how he carries himself. His confidence changes. He starts acting brand new, walking with a different kind of energy, like he's got a secret. He might even act annoyed when you point out the changes, like you're just imagining things, but you're not. You're watching the man you love turn into someone you don't recognize. Someone who's showing up more polished to the world while leaving you behind emotionally. He wants to be noticed, just not by you anymore. And that truth is painful. What makes it worse is when you remember how it used to be, how he used to get dressed for you, how he used to ask if you liked what he was wearing, how he used to light up when you said he looked good. Now he don't even care what you think. His eyes are somewhere else. His effort is for someone new. And no matter how much you tried to believe he's just trying to better himself, you feel that invisible wall growing between you. Because when a man truly values you, the effort he puts in isn't just for his reflection. It's to keep your love alive. When that stops, it's a sign something shifted and someone else is now getting the version of him that once belonged to you. When a man starts acting overly protective of his phone, his passwords, and his personal devices, it's usually not just about privacy. It's about secrecy. There's a difference between healthy boundaries and hiding things, and you can feel that difference. At first, it might be small. He changes his phone password without telling you. Maybe he used to leave his phone lying around, screen facing up, not even thinking about it. But now it's always face down, tucked away, or in his pocket, even when he's at home. And when it buzzes or rings, he grabs it so fast, it's like his life depends on it. That's not just being cautious, that's being nervous about what might be seen. It becomes a pattern you can't ignore. Every time you walk by, he minimizes his screen. When you sit next to him, he angles the phone away. If you ask who he's texting, he gives vague answers. Nobody, or just a friend. But if it was really nothing, he wouldn't be so defensive. He wouldn't be rushing to delete messages or clear his call history. A man who has nothing to hide won't act like his phone is a vault. But when he's involved with another woman, that device becomes his protection, his tool for managing two different lives, and he'll guard it at all costs. It's not just the phone either. You start noticing changes in his computer habits too. Maybe he shuts the laptop as soon as you walk in. Maybe you ask to use it and suddenly it's dead or not working right now. He might even have separate accounts, hidden emails, different social media logins, apps that are disguised as something else. There are apps out there that look like calculators but open to private messages or photos. And if he's going that far to cover his tracks, it's not about privacy anymore. It's deception, plain and simple. What makes it worse is the way he reacts when you bring it up. You're not accusing, you're just asking, but his response is immediate anger or guilt flipping. He'll say, "Why don't you trust me?" Or "Why are you always trying to start something?" That's his way of avoiding the conversation, trying to make you feel wrong for even noticing. But let's be honest, if everything was innocent, he wouldn't have to hide it. If it was just a coworker, just a friend, just a random message, he wouldn't care if you saw. A loyal man welcomes trust. A man with secrets builds walls. And he might even set boundaries so strict that they feel unnatural. Like you can't touch his phone at all, can't scroll through photos, can't use it to make a quick call. And he'll try to justify it with things like, "I just like my privacy," or "everyone deserves space." But that logic falls apart when you think back to how open he used to be. He didn't always guard his phone like this. He didn't always jump when it buzzed. So what changed? The truth is, the only thing that changed was him and whatever he's trying to keep you from seeing.